Last week, Kingsley Suamataia was our guy that we talked about. This week, he had 10 snaps and kind of a little Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde here with his pass blocking versus run blocking. So, JD, when I was watching it, I thought about our film study session that we had, and you said one thing that you wanted to see improvement on was his bull rush. And instead of attacking the defender, he was kind of embracing the defender there. And we kind of saw that a little bit on his pass blocking tonight. And then PFF, I know we'll take PFF for what it is. But PFF, for the 10 snaps that Kingsley had tonight, he was the highest graded offensive player with an 86.8. He had the lowest graded pass block. He was the lowest graded pass blocker with a 28.4. And then he was a top graded run blocker at 89.2. So his run blocking was really good, and the pass blocking was really bad according to PFF. What did you make of week 2 of Kingsley with his 10 snaps tonight?
So what I saw from him was sometimes when you have the long drives, his feet get very heavy, gets a little lazy in his technique. And I think a lot of it just has to be in shape. I think a lot of it has to do with that. And so, if he's struggling to get his feet across for guys, and I've seen, a couple of plays where he just didn't get in front of him. He didn't strike the blow, didn't move his feet to get in front of him like he should have. And he kind of got around. The defensive, guy got around him a little bit. But look, offensive line is built for run. These guys, man, are maulers up front, okay? And King Suma is one of those guys up front who comes in and he's a physical guy in the run game. The thing is, he's got to be able to transition from the run to the pass and be as aggressive. And so for him, I think he has to do a much better job either jumping the defensive tackle, getting his hands on him immediately before the guy gets a charge on him. That way he can go ahead and put his hands on and, reassert and refit, sink his hips down. But a lot of it was just bad technique. He just wasn't moving his feet. That was it. His feet was getting a little bit lazy, but I think a lot of it had to do with, the long drive that he had. And so I think for me, I just, when I see a lineman that's not moving their feet, it is because they may be a little bit tired. I think it's exactly why. So I would have, and I was just thinking this, I would have given him the entire first half. That's what I would have done. And I know we're going to have from here, we're going to one more week closer to it, which leaves us with 2 weeks, primarily like 3, getting to where we need to, having that other full week. But he's got to be ready. He's got to be ready. So that means having, the area that he needs, being in shape that he needs. And so that's just my opinion. Like I said, I just seen his feet kind of get a little bit lazy. That's what I saw.
Tej, any questions you have to JD about what you saw from Kingsley? Or, are you in the same crowd that wanted to see maybe Jalen Moore get some left guard snaps tonight? I don't think we even saw Jalen Moore tonight at all, actually.
I don't know if we did. Yeah, I would like to see that.
He was in there?
Yeah.
He was at right tackle? Okay.
So no left guard.
Not tackle. Yeah, guard. Yeah.
He was playing guard tonight?
No, he played tackle.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like to see him try guard, but there's got to be a reason for it, right? And they're not just, just throwing darts. Suamataia. Say it again for the people in the comment section who are like pronunciation masters of Suamataia.
I've had a hard time with it. You got a spot on there.
Thank you. Yeah. I learned from the people in the comments who wouldn't even spell it out but criticizing us for mispronouncing it, but they still say Kingsley. They won't say it. They won't spell his last name, but we got to say it perfectly. I wasn't overreacting last week. I know JD and I had the back and forth about, the overreaction you get on social media, but I wasn't trying to overreact last week. And I thought we did see improvement. We were still complaints. He's still a developing left guard, right?
Yeah.
He was a developing left tackle, and that was his position last year. So he's a developing left guard. I think we've seen improvement week to week. I do think that you bring up an interesting point, JD. Like, and this is one of the questions I wanted to ask you before, and we can kind of tie it into this.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we see, why didn't we see more of him, right? Like, he's someone who needs the extra work. It's Seattle's got a good front. They were getting after it. Why not? Because I noticed there were other guys on our team playing like late in the third. Like Joshua Williams is playing almost into the fourth quarter. I think I saw Hicks in there late in the third, right?
Omenahu too.
Omenahu was playing. So it's like, guys, I mean, I don't know. And maybe every team is different, but what is the logic of playing guys later into games and then some other guys taking them out early? Like, what do you think the logic is to that in situations like these?
The only way I can think of this, Tej, is this is just me and you know, my logic thinking about it is when I seen the guys that came in second team that played that, whether it be Hanson or Caliendo or Norzad, that was the inside guys, they was getting beat like bad. And it was like penetration, not moving their feet. I mean, it was zone blocking, pass blocking. It was lack of communication. They didn't communicate. Guys didn't know what each one was doing. So I think if you're saying, okay, let's get the guys ready behind them, at least if something does happen, who do we put in? And I'm gonna tell you, look, I'm be honest. I'm be honest. If King Suma or part of our starting offensive line, we have a couple of guys I think that can back guys up. I think Wanye would do a good job. I think Jalen Moore would do a good job. After that, I think Caliendo, he didn't play very well tonight. You know, and I expected him to play a lot better than what he did. There's going to be some questions there. And so are they getting enough of that in practice? Are they getting enough reps maybe against the team? And that's my logic is like, let's get the guys ready back here who actually need it. But in that regard, I'm going to make sure King Suma's doing gassers and sprints on the other side over here. I'm like, hey, you stay after practice. We're gonna work on getting your wind and stuff down. But it was, I do believe, because I've seen enough of it, when I see a lineman who is not moving their feet, it is because they're winded. He's tired. It's not like he can't do it. It's just, your mind is there, but your body's not responding. And you're trying to get air. You're trying to, that whole getting ready for playing. And you're so amped up. That you can gas yourself. So I would, this is just me, but I'd be like, hey man, I'm gonna give you the first half. We're gonna whip you into a little bit more shape than what you are doing. And I know, look, they go out there and practice. It's not the same what we did. We had 2 a days. 2 a days will get you into shape. They're not doing 2 a days. They're not.
Yeah.
They're doing 1 a day, and in that time, what's the other stuff that you're doing to get yourself winded? And I think that's what you have to do. You just got to get yourself into more shape. I think that's part of his issue. I really do. I think he's a very good player. I think, he shows flashes of being a starting guard. He does. He shows that. But when you have a long drive, the integrity of what he does as far as his technique is going to wane. And you can't have that in the game. You just can't. It's going to be blatantly obvious. So that's me. That's my opinion. And so, people can have other opinions about it, man. But when I sit there and I watch a guy's feet and I see him kind of like reaching out and flip for a guy, I'm like, oh, he's tired. That's what that is. Shoot. That's all.
Not a good sign either.
It's not a good sign.
You got to play a full game in a few weeks, man.
You got to play a full game, man, and that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, I would say, hey, we got to do something to get you right. I got to get you tired. I got to get you winded. I got to get you winded in practice. If we had to come out here and do a little bit more or whatever it is, then we have to do that. But I think that would be the course of action for me, at least. So, and I could be completely wrong, but I just know I've coached linemen before. I played ball for a long time. I know how it feels when you get tired. Your technique is the first thing that goes. That's the first thing that leaves is your technique. So, and then you're just trying to catch up. You're just trying to do it. And then he looked like he was trying to catch up on some of those blocks. That's what it was.
It's very weird. Yeah.
But that's why these guys, that's why they look good running the football. That's what they want to do. You want to run the daggone football. I don't want to run around and block a dude, catching him and stuff like that. I want to deliver the punishment. I want to be able to take some of that pass rush out of this guy. I want to hit him in his hip. I want to hit him in his thighs. I want to hit him in his back. You know what I mean? That's what you do. You want to wear a dude out physically. And so that is, man, it's tiring, man. Shoot, I did plenty of pass blocking. And to block a dude just constantly running at you and you moving your feet and you staying up, that's a lot. That's a lot. So.
And Jenny, we talked about it last week, but like kind of when he's getting bull rush, he's kind of embracing the defender. Is that more of like a fatigue thing, or is that more that's more of his like just not kind of having the instincts of being a pass blocker? Really, I mean more of a run grader type of guy when he's kind of embracing the bull rush, kind of receiving the guy instead of kind of meeting the defender.
I mean, you could say that. But I think, he did enough of it in college that it really shouldn't be an issue. Now, for me, I might have to check like, okay, your weight, where's your weight at? Also, too, are you up in weight? Are you staying in shape? Are you eating the right things? Like all of that goes into it as well. And I'm telling you right now, look, you guys can get away from you. They can. Linemen can definitely get away from you, especially certain ones that is not going to get after it. So he's a guy that you got to put your thumb on to get after it. Like, hey, man, look, you're a talented dude, but we're going to put in some extra work. So,
and let's go his left side, our guy, Josh Simmons. What did you make of him tonight? I mean, he looked, to me, he looked a repeat of what he did last week. He looked more of the same from him. What did you see from Josh Simmons tonight, JD?
He looked good. He got beat on the one. He got kind of pushed down. The feet, actually, his foot got entangled with King Suma a little bit in there. And so, other than that, I think he looked all right, man. I think Josh Simmons he's just ready to play. And for him, every experience that he's getting, he's just gonna get better and better. Like you want him to have more experience because the more he sees, the better off he's gonna be, and he's gonna be able to adapt to whatever a guy is going to give. That is key when you're blocking a guy like Max Crosby, right? Shoot, you sitting there, you're going against the Chargers defense and all these guys, man, Bonito and all those. Shoot, we're gonna see the Eagles second game of the season. I watched the Ravens game last week. They got shoot. Mike Green is coming out there.
It's a rough opener for him for the first 4 games.
Yes, it is.
Giants have a good pass rush too. They have a good front four.
Yes, they do.
So he's gonna get his practice in. Both those guys are gonna get their practice in real fast.
Yeah, and the good thing about that is, Teja, it's almost like we were talking. Remember a couple of years ago when I was like, man, test the DBs out right now. Test the young guys out. Why? Because they're gonna be better off later on down the road. Because they didn't see the hardest part of the guys, right? Shoot, test them early, throw them in the fire early. So I think it's going to be good for us. But I think that kind of goes to, my warranted opinion on got to run the football. Got to do it. Because those guys, they love to do that. They want to run the ball. Shoot, I seen Trey Smith jumped up one time because he was able to put a dude into the turf. They get excited on that. That's what they get excited for. So,
yeah, I like you said, JD. I think it is like Josh Simmons is like he's ready to go to the opener. He's ready to go, and quite frankly, I know we want to get these guys reps. How do you feel about maybe not playing him at all next week, or maybe just playing him doing one drive again for Josh Simmons? I mean, let me ask you this question. So I've seen a lot of people online say this, that not only they want to see a little bit more of Kingsley, but they want to see a little bit more of Kingsley and Josh Simmons, these guys who haven't really played together before, to get more of at least a half together Is that something that like you kind of need to have that kind of that chemistry with your left guard, left tackle mate?
I mean, you're going to get that in practice. You're going to get that in meetings, in film study. You definitely got to have a quarter, maybe a quarter and a half. I think that's what you have to do. You might not want to push it just because you need him for the first game. You don't want to get him for injury, but you can't really worry about that, right? Because it's like, hey man, you're going to be out there anyway, so you might as well get used to, doing maybe they're going to be going in the game, man, doing 60 plays, almost 70. That's what it's going to look like. So, get your work in now. Get your work in now.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.